What if the stars weren't placed with care, but scattered in a moment of wild impatience? Long ago, before the stars twinkled in the night sky, darkness stretched endlessly above the earth. The Nez Perce people tell of a time when the responsibility for placing the stars was given to none other than Coyote, the clever trickster. Coyote was no ordinary figure. He was as unpredictable as the wind, as mischievous as the shadows that danced in the dark. His reputation preceded him. He was known for bending the rules and turning order into chaos. And now he was tasked with a duty that could shape the heavens. The stars, they told him, were not merely points of light. Each one was meant to carry a story, the stories of the people, the animals, the spirits of the land. These stories would guide future generations, written in the sky for all to see. Coyote was instructed to place them carefully, one by one, arranging them into constellations that would give meaning to the world. But as Coyote gazed at the countless stars in his grasp, his patience began to fray. The task, though grand, felt tedious to his restless spirit. Could such a trickster resist his nature? Could he be trusted to paint the sky with care? The world held its breath, waiting to see how Coyote's unpredictable heart would shape the universe. Coyote, the notorious trickster, had been entrusted with an important task, a duty that could shape the heavens themselves. The gods and spirits who knew of Coyote's playful nature watched cautiously as he began his sacred work. He was told to place each star with precision, for every one of them would tell a story that would live on for generations. At first, Coyote took his role seriously, carefully setting each star in its place. The constellations were beginning to take shape, and the sky began to glow with the beauty of the stories they held. But as time passed, Coyote's patience thinned. The stars seemed endless, and the sky stretched out before him like an eternal canvas. His hands grew tired, and his mischievous heart itched for something more thrilling. What had once been a sacred duty now felt like a burden. How long will this take, he thought, his trickster instincts stirring beneath the surface. He glanced at the remaining stars, piled high, and a sly grin spread across his face. Why should he continue placing them one by one? The stars would still shine no matter how they were arranged. A spark of mischief flickered in his eyes as he gathered the remaining stars in his hands. With one swift, reckless motion, Coyote hurled them into the sky, watching as they scattered wildly. The night erupted in a chaotic dance of light, stars tumbling and spinning into unexpected patterns. The once orderly sky had transformed into something wild and untamed, just like Coyote himself. Coyote's patience, always thin, had finally worn down to nothing. The slow, meticulous task of placing each star in the sky one by one began to feel like a burden too heavy to bear. His mind, ever playful and restless, drifted to thoughts of a quicker, more exciting solution. Why waste time following the careful instructions given to him? Why not turn this mundane duty into something grand and unpredictable? A mischievous grin spread across his face as a wild idea took hold. Instead of painstakingly setting each star into its rightful place, Coyote would end this task his way, on his terms. With a gleam of mischief in his eye, Coyote gathered up all the remaining stars, their glow spilling through his hands. In a single sweeping motion, he hurled them into the sky. The stars soared upward, scattering wildly in every direction. They exploded across the heavens in a dazzling array of light, landing wherever they pleased. Some gathered in tight, chaotic clusters, while others formed long, jagged streaks, stretching endlessly across the night. Coyote's heart raced as he watched the sky transform before him. What had once been destined for neat, ordered beauty was now a canvas of chaos and wonder, a masterpiece born from his trickster's soul. He gazed up, beaming with delight. The heavens were now his playground, a wild reflection of his untamed spirit. As the stars found their places in the sky, seemingly scattered without purpose, Coyote stood back and admired his creation. The vast canvas above was no longer the orderly, meticulously planned masterpiece he had been entrusted to create, but it possessed a wild, unexpected beauty all its own. Each star twinkled brightly, casting its light into the darkness in a way that was far from perfect. But in that imperfection, something magical took shape. The constellations that emerged were not the ones anyone had foreseen. They were chaotic, yet filled with stories that only the night could tell. Animals, spirits, heroes, creatures of legend, suddenly danced among the stars, their figures etched into the night by Coyote's impulsive hand. Coyote, ever the trickster, grinned as he watched from below. What had started as a simple task had become something much more, something unpredictable. He had defied the instructions, yes, but the stars still spoke. They still whispered the stories of the earth, connecting the people to the heavens in ways even Coyote hadn't anticipated. There was beauty in the chaos, and in that moment, Coyote felt a sense of pride. The sky, now wild and free like him, was full of mystery, full of life. But as Coyote marveled at his work, a question lingered. Would the others, the gods, the people, see the same beauty he saw? Or would they only see the disorder? Coyote's reckless act sent ripples through the heavens. The gods and spirits who had entrusted him with the sacred task of placing the stars stood frozen in disbelief as they watched the night sky transform. This was not the orderly masterpiece they had envisioned, far from it. They had imagined a sky where each star was carefully placed, forming constellations that would guide the people below and maintain the balance of the world. But now, the stars had been scattered haphazardly, thrown into the sky in a chaotic burst of energy. The gods exchanged anxious glances. Should they be outraged? Coyote had defied their instructions, replacing careful design with wild abandon. And yet, as they continued to gaze upon the sky, something unexpected stirred within them. There, among the disarray, they began to see shapes and stories, patterns they had not anticipated, but that seemed to pulse with life. The stars, in their random placements, still told the tales of the earth and its creatures. The gods, puzzled, debated their next move. Should they reprimand Coyote for his impulsiveness, or acknowledge the accidental beauty he had created? The night sky, once destined for rigid order, had become something far more unpredictable. And perhaps, in that unpredictability, lay its true power. Coyote, ever the sly trickster, anticipated the gods' fury before they even summoned him. He could feel their frustration burning like fire in the sky, a seething disappointment in the chaos he had unleashed. But mingled with that anger was something else: curiosity. They couldn't quite fathom why Coyote had abandoned the careful plan, why he had flung the stars so carelessly across the night sky, turning order into a whirlwind of unpredictable patterns. As he stood before them, their voices boomed with authority, demanding answers. With a sly grin, Coyote tilted his head, his eyes gleaming with a mischievous light. "Why did I scatter the stars, you ask?" His voice carried a casual confidence, as though he had expected this confrontation all along. "The world," he began, "is not meant to be perfect. It is wild, untamed, full of surprises. Shouldn't the stars reflect that? Look at them now. Aren't they more alive? I've given the people something to wonder at, something that will spark their imaginations. The constellations may not be what you envisioned, but they are exactly what this world needs." The gods, for all their wisdom and power, couldn't deny the spark of truth in Coyote's words. They exchanged glances, their anger dimming, replaced by a reluctant understanding. Coyote had indeed broken the rules, but in doing so, he had created something unexpected, something beautiful. As night fell and the stars blinked into view, the people of the earth gazed upward, awestruck by the scattered jewels across the sky. What had once been an empty canvas was now alive with shimmering light, each star a tiny beacon calling out to be noticed. And as the people looked closer, they began to see something remarkable. The stars, though thrown randomly by Coyote's impulsive hand, began to form shapes: wolves prowling through the heavens, bears lumbering among the constellations, and eagles soaring through the night. The sky was no longer a realm of empty darkness. It was filled with stories, each constellation a new tale waiting to be told. The people whispered to each other, recognizing the characters of their legends in the stars. Heroes who had once walked the earth were now immortalized above, alongside tricksters like Coyote himself. The stars, scattered in their chaos, had woven a web of imagination, an endless tapestry of tales that shifted with every glance. Coyote's impatience, his refusal to follow the rules, had created something far greater than order could ever have achieved. His hand had left its mark on the universe, a legacy that shimmered above each night, inspiring wonder and curiosity for generations to come. Coyote's impulsive act forever altered the heavens. The stars, once meant to be placed with careful precision, now scattered in wild, unpredictable constellations, became a symbol of the untamed beauty of the world. There was no grand order in the sky, no perfect alignment, only a chaotic, shimmering canvas that seemed to pulse with life itself. At first, the gods were startled by what Coyote had done. This was not what they had envisioned. But as they gazed up at the stars, they couldn't help but marvel at the unexpected wonder that had emerged from his reckless act. The people of the earth, too, looked to the stars and found stories among the chaos. In the scattered lights, they saw wolves racing across the sky, bears lumbering through the night, and tricksters weaving their mischievous paths. The randomness of the stars gave rise to infinite possibilities. Each night sky a different story waiting to be told. Coyote, the trickster, had not just placed the stars, he had breathed life into the heavens, giving the world something far more magical than order could ever offer. And so, Coyote's legacy lived on, not as a lesson of caution, but as a celebration of the unpredictable. The stars above remain a reminder that from moments of chaos, something extraordinary can be born.